Hello there, and welcome to another edition of me running around like an idiot in a snowstorm. This is Muffin Man 881, otherwise known as your boy, Revelation Attack on PlayStation 4. For today's run, I'm going to be starting out of the Hudson Yards again. Now you've already seen what I usually run, my usual route from the west, so I'm going to purposefully mix it up. I'm going to run all the way to the north of the map, just because I can, just to mix it up, just show you something else, do something that I don't usually do, go places I don't usually loot, and so we're going to go up there, and then in the middle part of the video, something happened with the recording of the second half, the middle half, middle third of the video, and it's not there, it was lost, did not save. So I'm just going to have to give you some bullet points of what happens. And then in the last portion of the video, I'm going to call Punisher's Row, Punisher's Run. I'm going to solo 4 hunters, 3 different extraction points. And we're going to get into some juicy action there. So there we go. So it's always fun in survivals when you get these big, wide open, safe zones. It's hard to find the fabric, although the fabric's straight away in this one. I didn't notice the meds right next to the bench, so I'm looking around like an idiot. And then it doesn't pick up right away. It's always fun. Again, I always make this rating 4 scarf, put it on. Gives you a little more lasting time in the initial game. So I'm not terribly familiar with this safe house. I am familiar with these 2 previous back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run down to that and then effectively go from there, get my bearings. There's a mess of tents down there that I'm going to try to see if I can't get to before somebody else. I know it's probably a stretch, there's probably somebody that comes out of there, but you know what? Hey.
Body temperature dropping below normal levels.
Attention. All residents are advised to remain indoors for the
Keep in mind, coming out of the west, there are quite a few red bars you gotta watch out for. So don't always start attacking just any NPC you see out there, because they have a tendency of coming out of the woodwork just when you think you've gotten through the mob. A new mob aggro's on you, and you're low on heat. You're about to go cold. Maybe you've been whittled down to 2 bars or 1 bar, and you get overcome. So you gotta be careful. So we got the AM track there. So at this point, what I'm thinking, I'm saying, all right, I've already showed you the AM track in the previous video. I'm just gonna go and run from on the surface all the way to the north of the AM track. Kind of just split off from there, but for now, the north end of the AM track is kind of my goal, my short-term goal. I'm gonna run in here. Now this is a tricky area. It's got a weapon that I'm gonna want, but it's got a handful of NPCs, and it's kind of in a semi-open space. So I'm gonna hop up here. There's a tools and there's a armor piece, also some food. Then I'm gonna drop down onto it and see if I can at least defend the spot. Obviously I'm about to go cold, so I need to at least bounce off the fire barrel. So I'm going to push these 2. I'm hearing you hear that guy on the left. So I know I got to be quick with this guy so I can turn around and deal with him.
Core body temperature is now below what is required for normal metabolic function.
Bounce off the heat barrel. Another guy on our left. Again, I don't really worry too much about headshots in this situation. As long as I'm getting damage, I'm happy. So don't think you have to be immaculate with your accuracy. Okay, so I got a blue sniper rifle. It's not the type that I usually run, but it's good with measured shots, I feel.
Body temperature is now critically below normal.
Take a moment while you're heating up to check your meds, check your food, check your water,
Core temperature is below
check your map
optimal
too
levels.
if you can, if you're looking for a spot to go. The less amount of time you can spend doing those things when you could be running, whereas if you're standing at a fire barrel and you know you're going to be standing there stationary anyway, do it then, really cut down on some time. There's some top tier strats for you. So again, I'm going to measure my shots, because this sniper rifle can get it's pretty much semi-auto. Pretty much, I mean, it is semi-auto. Should have just waited for him to round the corner and start coming at me. Save myself some shots. But hey, in the moment, that's what you do. Generally, you don't have to worry about running out of ammo, although I have gotten down to a couple clips on a sniper rifle before. It's about as close as I've ever gotten to running out of ammo.
Body temperature dropping
Some
below normal
electronics
levels.
there. Anytime you're running by any kind of piece of tech, it's probably got an electronics box. Another thing you can observe in the scenery. Not even gonna waste my sniper bullets on that. Alright, so I'm effectively right next to the AM track. I'm just above it. So from here, it's just trek straight north. I'm gonna hit the. I'm gonna find the halfway point. Looks like there's a dead player up in the vicinity
Drop
where
in
I'm
core
gonna
temperature
round.
detected.
I'm gonna pop this open instead of running. See if I can't find some good stuff in
Warning.
here.
Immune response detected. Infection imminent.
Now, it looks like the door from the other side has been open, which probably means that somebody else has been in here. But I'm gonna make a check. I'm gonna run down to this small room, and if that's all taken up, then I know. Yep, there's a player. So it's useless to go looking around at that point.
Alert. Infection temporarily stabilized. Core
Okay,
body
so this
temperature
is
dropping.
this is the halfway entrance to the AM track here. pop those guys. Got myself a shotgun here. So never let these guys surround you, because that's when things get hairy. Especially when you're fighting red bars, you don't gotta worry too much about, you know, not being able to charge. Of course, they'll always talk and give their position away. That's just why you wear headphones, because that's they'll tell you exactly where they're at and which way they're coming from. Again, I'm gonna, for the sake of the video, I'm gonna not go down here. I'm gonna head back up and just keep running north for the sake of changing it up.
Core temperature is below optimal levels.
Another thing, always remember, if you're near scaffolding and you're looking for some tools, you're bound to find them on scaffolding. Coming up on a store over here, which I know has a purple bar and a handful of red bars. This is one of those places that I said they come out of the woodwork. This is where they come out of the woodwork. Okay, so I got a rusher coming behind me. I'm gonna nail him, and he's gonna be right behind me. So it looks like I didn't hear anybody else. Like that's where the dead player ended up.
Warning.
A dead player.
Infection detected.
But there's no purple bar in here, so.
Alert. Infection progress halted.
Again, I've said before, never spend your fabric on warmer clothes. You will find ample warm clothes out in the wild. You want to save your fabric. Save it for high-end material armor in the dark zone. One piece of high-end armor in the dark zone costs you 3 fabric and electronics. So you're gonna want all the fabric you can get your hands on.
Hypothermia increased.
It's probably I would tell you it's the number one thing you want to always pick up and always be after. Tools, you know, it's good early game because you can make a couple of extended mags and a VX1 scope, but ultimately you don't necessarily need tools. You need a small amount of tools for weaponry, but not the kind of demand that you'll find with fabric. Weapon parts you'll also need, just in case you don't end up dropping a bunch of weapons, or whatever the case may be. You're just running low on weapons, because you also need a pair of weapon parts, yellow weapon parts for your flare gun. So you just always want to be looking out for fabric. You want to also be looking out for your weapon parts. If you're getting late in the game and you need to move on, you need to save time, and say you're looking good on right here. Real quick, he was the only guy in there. The battle music didn't start up, so I know I'm good to go. But yeah, if you're getting down to late game and you're short on time, you need to skip picking materials. You can skip tools. You can skip clothing, suitcases, if you feel that you've got an ample amount of heat. but I would never
Alert.
skip
Protection temporarily
picking
stabilized.
fabric boxes.
Core temperature
I
is
wouldn't, I wouldn't necessarily skip grabbing electronics boxes either, although you don't need a high amount of those as well. Couple red bars here. Got enough shots in the shotgun that I can, keep from just going ham and losing control.
drop in core temperature detected.
Look around, see there's electronics box. Always be swinging that camera, seeing what you can see. Never pass up armor pieces on the ground, no matter what rarity they are. You can break down armor pieces for fabric. You can't break down warm clothes for fabric, which I think is kind of bold, but hey, whatever.
Detecting lowering of core body temperature. Threat of hypothermia increased.
Okay, so I got a little. See there that I need to move a little back west a little more. And I am gonna end up backtracking here in a second, but does not take very long to realize just how little stamina you've got, just how little toughness you've got. He almost dropped me really quickly. So after that happened, I realized
Action detected.
you got to, it's all well and fine to pace your shots, but don't pace them to the point where you're giving an NPC a chance to get shots
Drop in
on you.
core temperature detected.
Also went rushing into that a little hard. Number one, I didn't realize I wasn't observant enough to realize that I was only on one bar. So if those were purples, or there were more than two of them, I could have been in trouble there. So I got lucky there. Out here in the outer ring of the game, you don't have to worry too much about purple bars or red bars or yellow bars. So ultimately, I'm not feeling too threatened out here, to be honest with you. I've kind of got this mad shotgunner thing going on. But when that Riker almost dropped me, that makes you realize, just because they're red bars doesn't mean they can't do it to you. If you go and you pick up a bunch of if all the gear that you get is electronics and you're not getting any stamina gear, you're at a pretty big disadvantage because you've got no skills, and ultimately you don't want to lean on your skills for combat anyway. And so you've got low stamina, high electronics, so you're really vulnerable.
Detecting lowering of core body temperature. Threat of hypothermia increased.
Okay, so I jumped down there and I went the rest of the way. So I'm at the north end. We've got a dead player there. I'm gonna hop in the safe room, make myself a pair of extended mags.
You are now entering a
with the
safe
X1
area.
scope. Remember that beginner safe houses. You can hop in as many as you like. They'll have a fabric and a painkillers. It's not a would not recommend it as a strategy for collecting materials, but you know what? If you're in this situation where you want to jump in, make a few things. It's comes in handy. At this point, I'm gonna throw on this 249. I'm gonna drop the shotgunner vibe. I'm gonna throw the bigger of the two. Never know when those 3 extra bullets really help you out.
Core temperature is below optimal levels.
So when you start out way up here, my go-to is this building right here. There's 3 red bars outside that you got to deal with, and then you can come up here, open this door, which is already open. Somebody's already been in here, and you come in here and you got to deal with 6, 7, 8 red bars. But there's an upstairs portion and a downstairs portion, and it's got a lot of good stuff. You can stock up on drinks, you stock up on food. There's a weapon in there. So it's definitely a good spot to hit if you spawn northwest.
Detecting lowering of core body temperature. Threat of hypothermia increased.
Somebody's looted it, so I'm moving on. Now here I could just keep going east until I hit that dead player, but I decided, you know what, I'm gonna make some cuts. Never been up here. I don't know if this is literally, you know, cutting the edge of the map. So I don't know what's up here. Generally speaking, I think you'd consider this to be kind of no man's land, because you're always wanting to be moving inland. You're always wanting to be making inroads to the dark zone. So, you know, running the edge like this is kind of a scary thought, I think. But looks like there's a safe house here. I didn't even realize there was a safe house there. I've never spawned out of it, I don't think.
Core temperature is below optimal levels.
Okay, so that that dead player there, the landmark that he went to, it's pretty infamous for being very difficult. It's got a lot of purple bar Rikers, and they will chase you like crazy. I see what I know is a lot of people I see try to hit it from the south, and there's not a lot of cover if you attack it from that direction. So I don't recommend you hit it from the south. I recommend you hit it from the north, and I'll show you when we get there you know, just how much more cover there is and how much further you can stretch, because they'll chase like crazy. I've got right here an underground
Alert.
passage.
Infection progress halted.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this here real quick in a second. And I'm going to go down, I'm going to hit that dead player, and then I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to check out what's down there. a lonely sniper. Not much to be looted up here. Nobody down there to shoot me up when I drop down, so I'm gonna drop. Okay, so we are at the landmark. I see right there, there's a purple beam, which probably represents the dead player. There's another player there. So I'm seeing one purple bar. I know there's got to be at least a couple more around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put as much damage on as I can. I'm not going to get too hurried. Use some grenades. I'm going to try to draw their attention up to the side as much as I can. I'm going to lay into this guy while he's throwing his battle cry. So I know I've got 2 down. There's 2 there. There's a third. I'm gonna throw a grenade and I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna head down this way. There's lots of cover to weave in and out of. And down here there's a safe house. And that's ultimately why it's best to take it from the north. Because you can hop in that safe house, and I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna make my skills, but you can hop in here and you can go jump out the back, jump out a different entrance, and really throw them off, because they'll be down there, but they won't really know what to do. The AI won't swarm the building or anything. They'll just kind of go, oh, where to go, and they know you're there, but they won't have anywhere to chase you. So they just kind of stand there. So that's what makes this hitting it from up north so much better than hitting from the south side. Again, my go-to skills, pulse and turret. Turret, even though I've got minimum electronics, that's my goal is to have minimum electronics. I want to have turret for a distraction, ultimately. I'm not looking for it to do a whole bunch of heavy hitting. So I hop out the back.
Of core body temperature. Threat of hypothermia increased.
I'm gonna keep getting that notice noise. So I've got them there. They haven't actually noticed me. They're not moving. They're just kind of chilling out. They know something's up. So I'm gonna try to take this advantage. Throw my turret, so maybe they'll attack it instead of me. Like a chump. See that they will pursue very tenaciously, whether you hit it from the north or the south. So you want to be tactful about how you want to do it, because if you hit it from the south, you're going to be backing up and not having anything to weave in and out of, and they're probably going to drop you. That's happened to me before. Okay, so our dead player here has been looted. Our friend came back and took advantage of the me taking them out. But it looks like they did not go inside, perhaps just being nice. And that's the sniper rifle that I prefer to run, so that's always a great feeling. That means I don't have to spend weapon parts and tools in order to make it. And then that M60, I'm going to trade out the M60. I'm going to trade out the 249 for the M60 because the 249, it gets kind of crazy when you're sustained fire, but the M60 is pretty well balanced in sustained fire. So I'm going to prefer that gun if I've got it. If I had to choose between the two, and I've done that here. That electronics armor piece doesn't do much for me, but it does well for making fabric pieces. So I'm gonna drink something. I'm gonna kind of just do a quick scan of the area, see if anything lights up that I can take. Doesn't look like anything did. I do have this toolbox over here that I ran past initially. Alright, so I'm going to head up, hit the underground passage. This underground passage is pretty simple. There's one enemy down here. It's a cleaner heavy. Now, I know he walks around a whole bunch. He doesn't just stay down there. So, all right, there he is. I'm not going to have a lot of time to prep. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw my turret way over here. That way when he gets up here, I know that he's going to want to go kick that thing over. So I'm going to do that. He's going to chase. I'm going to break out my 60. I'm going to let him have it. It's a big dude. Just aiming for the middle. Trying for damage, not trying to get headshots or anything like that. Whittle him down, finish him off with sniper. Okay, and there was the electronics backpack. Doesn't do well for me, so I'm not gonna put it on. I'm just gonna break it down later. So here's where I save this video. And then, so this section here, it's gone. So some bullet points. I keep going up north. There is a police station up north that's kind of close to the dark zone. It's got a lot of really good stuff in it. It's being guarded by 3, 4, 5, I think maybe even 6 Rikers. If you attack it from the north, you can get them to bottleneck and take them out. Or if you attack from the northeast corner, you can climb up on a sniper's nest and take them out there. But you can go in there, you get a lot of good stuff. Then I came down, I looted another dead player, which had a purple Lavoisier, which is great. That's what I like. That's what I like to use. Picked up his materials. It's always good. Times Square was looted when I got to it, as I'm coming down to go hop in the dark zone. But I did find some things in the area that were forgotten about. So you never know what you might find. You never know, when somebody who was taken out, a landmark, doesn't know about something. So sometimes it's good to look. I jump in the dark zone. I run. I get a couple pieces of Division Tech. I actually run in, make my weapons, my custom M44, my G36. I make 4 pieces of high-end gear, and then I head to what I really wanted to show you, the tunnel system, the subway system, along the along the north edge of Bryant Park. Has 2 boxes of Division Tech, so 4 Division Tech. It's got a couple pieces of fabric, couple pieces of tools, a couple electronics. It's a really good spot, and you only have to deal with 2 purple bars, a couple red bars. So it's a really good spot. Again, that's on the north side, starting on the northeast side of Bryant Park. I would highly suggest you put that on your map and hit
Body
there
temperature dropping below
if you
normal
don't
levels.
already know about it. So we're gonna pick back up right here as I just came out of the Bryant Park, the north subway, as I was just talking about.
Warning. Infection levels increasing.
I've got my high-end weapons here, and I'm about to put focus on my antivirals. This little corridor here, has some pretty tenacious LMB in it, so I'm very wary about just charging in there. It looks like somebody's already been in there taking them out. But I'm still cautious. You never know when there might be an enemy that was doing a patrol. Might have been just outside the pulse range. So you don't want to just say, oh, well, nothing got picked up, so do. Sometimes you pay for that.
Incoming for evac right now.
Core body temperature dropping.
I'm gonna make a quick spot check over here.
60 seconds to go.
This safe room right here has got a spot next to it. I think I've hit it
30
in
seconds.
a previous video. But again, it's a really good spot to go look at for some Division Tech. Somebody's already taken the Division Tech. Go ahead and take the cash.
15
There's also
seconds.
some medicine there. Keep you afloat. Finding medicine in the dark zone can be kind of tricky, if not difficult.
Attention. Locking on your position now.
Okay, so it sounds like this extraction point to the northwest of me
entering
here
a safe
is
area.
being used. I'm gonna break down some of the old stuff, some of the stuff that I picked off of the dead player. Remember, always go down there, look to see if you got any greens that can be turned into blues before you turn blues into yellows.
Evac hello, returning to Lighthouse.
My formula as is with the custom M44, make the high velocity magazine, the loud vent brake, and the small grip red to increase crit chance and crit damage, along with some other things. I'm also going to make this laser for my G36. I almost make this compensator, but I really want, or the flash hider. I almost make the flash hider. Then I realized, no, that's not what I want. I want the stability with the compensator. G36 is already a pretty stable gun. That's why I choose it in survival games. Obviously, it's not really the go-to in anywhere else in the game, but for survival, it's a very reliable gun. Not too hot about getting an electronics piece there.
Seconds to go.
Don't get any special damage out of the gloves. I'm gonna make my flare gun.
Flare gun required for extraction is now detected.
Sometimes I'll try and roll the dice and
30 seconds.
remake a piece of gear if it's electronics and maybe I'm not too hot on my build at the time. So I'll take that.
15 seconds.
And remember, when you get the reason Division Tech is so great is because in a survival game you can in the game you can turn it into any material you want. In a survival game, that's huge.
Get ready to go. We're putting it down.
Completely forget to attach the weapon mods. I just kind of looked at my firearms, my stamina to get an idea of what I would be lacking, and then I can go and I can augment that with mods. Remember, if you break down enough, if you can get lucky breaking
you got
down
10 before we're outta
high-end
here.
gear, high-end weapons, high-end gear, and you can sometimes get a Division Tech out of that. Doesn't happen very often, but it can.
Evac Hello returning to base.
Remember, you can slot 5 of them. Don't go any more than that, obviously.
Alert. Infection progress halted.
So yeah, this is a pretty good run with mods there. Didn't have enough to make the X45. Only reason I really make it is for 4 additional points at the end.
Body temperature dropping below normal
I
levels.
should say, from purple to high end, it's a different of 4 points. But from green to high end, you gain a lot more points at the end of the game. That's why I bothered to make a high end
Warning. Infection
sidearm.
progressing.
So I'm gonna go track down my antivirals. It looks like it's on top of this landmark down here. Dealt with it many times. You can tiptoe around the NPCs in there. I should say you can get up above them. They
Core
will
body
not
temperature
realize
dropping.
you're there. You gotta be very careful getting on this rope to rappel, though. That toolbox is looted, so I know somebody's already been up through here. There's a box of
Body
division
temperature
tech up
dropping
here
below
that's
normal
easy
levels.
pickings. It's only being guarded by 2 red bars, so it's a very popular spot to hit for those division tech. So there's my box.
Antiviral cache secured.
Not even gonna go looking for the division tech box, 'cause that's long gone. Being careful down here. And that's why. whoever it was didn't come this way, so these NPCs are still here. Would have been attacked. I didn't due diligence and be aware of my surroundings. Something I'm going to be very questionable with up here. So at this point,
Body temperature
I've
dropping.
got my antivirals, I've got my flare gun, I'm feeling very good with my build. I don't normally hit this particular extraction zone. It's very tricky. The hunter can spawn at any of these 4 different sides. So I noticed this yellow beam up here. I didn't realize it. How long did it take you to see him? Because I didn't see him at all. Don't panic when you get into a close range fight with them. But always make sure you keep a piece of barrier between you and him, just in case he decides to charge you and axe you. You never want to rush him. You never want to bury the nose of your gun in him, because number one, they could axe you, and you never know when they can heal. He's about to heal on me right now. Does it again. Tenacious. So, yep, like I said, don't get up on them. Always keep at least a little distance on them in a close range fight. Don't do anything stupid unless you're surrounded on all sides by hunters, which if that's the case, good luck. But just remember, play it smart. Don't be a hero. Don't get too crazy. Don't think, oh, I'm just gonna burn them down and I'm gonna win this. Don't do that to yourself. This is, you've come this far. You don't need to be doing that. Okay. So after that happened, I was pretty much shaking. I gotta be honest with you. It's probably the closest I've ever been to a hunter and lived to tell a tale. At least with the closest I've ever been without a shield, without a ballistic shield. I typically like to keep my hunter engagements at a really good length and take care of them with the sniper rifle. So that was pretty nuts. And then I realized I didn't even have my weapon mods on me. But lesson learned, lesson demonstrated. If you see a yellow beam somewhere around an extraction point, check it out, because if it's a dead person, there's probably a free roaming hunter there. Okay, so I like to head down this way.
I'm on the way.
Because again, there's a lot of cover down this way that you're not going to find at any other 3 directions you can go. Okay, so he sees me there. I didn't catch him. I didn't catch sight of him at that when I ran down though. So I don't know where he's at. There's gunfire there. I'll throw a grenade at him. Okay, I see his BB-8 coming at me. Star Wars reference. So, remember, keep a piece. See, I got too greedy there. I should have moved. I should have adjusted my position because the AI will keep shooting at that area. You can move along your cover, find a new spot, get a shot or two off on him. So I distracted him there, teed up, took him out. Always check to see if they've dropped a survival cache. Survival caches can drop from named NPCs. Pretty sure they can drop from hunters too. So at this point, I'm looking at my disease timer. Feeling pretty good about my capability to hit hunters. I also like to take gear caches over weapon caches and mod caches. So I've decided, number one, I'm going to take the stuff that I got off that guy and I'm going to make myself a pistol. I'm going to make myself the X45. You can also make med kits out of high-end pieces. One piece of high-end fabric. Replace the med kit that I used during that fight.
Prepping to land. This bird is leaving in 30 seconds.
Get myself a full gear score. Kind of wish I had tried to break down the flare gun. I've never done that before. I'm kind of curious as to what would happen. I'm guessing you get a division tech out of it. Maybe it just gives you a weapon part.
In the air and on the way.
So I kind of showed you my strategy for when you hit that particular extraction point. I've hit these two upcoming extraction points. My preferred go-to is the one at DZ2, but you can also hit Bryant Park here. And I've done that in the previous video as well, but that also had another player with me there. So I'm going to show you kind of what I do when prepping for this particular DZ when I get the chance. So I'm going to catch the corner right at the edge where I can drop it.
Incoming on your
I'm gonna
location
put my turret
now.
down up here in a forward spot before I run off.
Hostile in proximity.
You come up here, the hunter will not come up here to down you. Okay, I'm getting shots from over my left. It's a good thing with that turret there. Takes shots at it, lets me know where he's at. Just enough of him. Now I just got noticed there. Got the notification. I don't really know what that was all about. And it turned out he hacked my turret before he died. Hope it was worth it. Still no survival cache. And so at this point, I'm thinking, yeah, I've got plenty of time on the timer. I'm gonna run down and I'm gonna hit my 4th hunter. If you've got enough time, you can just keep making the rounds to extraction points. They'll keep popping up at a
60
new
seconds to
extraction
go.
at every new extraction point you go to. If I was to go back up and pop flare at either one of those two, now that I've taken a hunter there, I would just be scot-free. There would be no hunter popping. I just kind of stand there and dance until chopper came for me.
Seconds.
Give these guys some fatal headaches. Didn't really need to loot the weapon part, but you know, it's second nature at this point. You don't always see these two pop around. They've got a pretty long. They've got a pretty long route which they travel. So most times you don't even see them. They don't even come around. But you do see them sometimes, and when you're making your way back down to the nest, you know, it's kind of a you gotta avoid them if they're there. Never had that happen to me yet. Alright, nobody's died here. Should have checked that before I got up here, but they're safe.
Incoming for evacuation. Stack.
High threat target detected.
So, just take a step back. I'm going to pulse, check where he's at. Throw my turret for distraction.
Detecting lowering of core body temperature. Threat of hypothermia increased.
When sniping, be very... You can sometimes clip the top of their head, which is why I'll take shots. I've done it before. I didn't think I was going to hit anything, but I did take him out. See, I hit that. I didn't think that was white as well. White damage. Must have been like the hand or something. But kind of want to wait him out. Kind of want him to make another move. But if I don't think he will, I'll throw a grenade down there to try to dislodge him. He still doesn't move. He's bleeding, so he can't heal himself. Makes him easy pickings. Yeah, don't forget to use those grenades. You're not keeping them when you leave.
60 seconds
So
to go.
use them. 4 hunters and none of them turned up with survival caches. I guess that's just my luck. Hadn't realized it at the time. I did not remember that I was the only one left, so I'm still on
30
alert here.
seconds.
This is what you want to do before the chopper shows up. You just kind of You want to be up in the area, but you want to be in a spot where you can
15
fall
seconds.
back at an instant. If somebody else turns up and they've spawned a hunter, that way that hunter, no matter where it spawns up here, you can get yourself out of line of sight, get yourself out of firing line.
Prepping to land.
Remember, drink something, eat something to maximize your hunger score, your thirst score. You get more value
Agent,
out of that
30
than
seconds left to
having
get
them
on this
in your
bird.
inventory counted in the end.
Seconds and we're out of
There
here.
we go.
Getting this bird back to the lighthouse.
Check out our
Happy to have you back
page
online,
here in
Agent.
a
I
second.
was worried about you there. The storm's passed and things are looking up. Get back here when you can.
Alright, so extracted second. I did go down earlier. It was in the portion of the video that was not captured. Max gear score 163. You get 815 points for that. Survival time an hour 38. Cold score wasn't that great. There's your Punisher at the bottom, 1,600 points for killing 4 hunters. It's well worth it if you can swing that. All right, so thanks for watching. I hope you found it helpful. I found it useful,
Readings
if not
indicate this
entertaining.
area is safe.
Watching me walk up on a hunter like that. I've got at least one more video to show you. It's my entire loot route coming out of the south on either side in the LZ light zone. It's the entire route. Nobody took anything on it, so I picked all of it up, knowing that I was going to try to show it to you. So I'm going to try to bring that to you. I know I haven't been really responding to anything on my comment section. I don't know. It's not that I'm antisocial. If you got any questions for me, you feel free to ask. Pick my brain on anything. Totally fine. I'll try to do better in answering some things. But let me know what you like, what you didn't like. These things too long? Am I putting too much in? Yeah. So thanks for watching, and have a good one.